Hello there and a very good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Rundown with me, Zulfick Farzan. We are just days away from one of the most important presidential elections in Sri Lankan history. This is going to be the first election that the country will be hosting after it went into an economic crisis in 2022. Now this election is featuring a total of 38 presidential candidates, a record number, which was initially 39. Unfortunately, one candidate passed away during the campaign trail. Now, in the run-up to the presidential election, Sri Lanka police said it will deploy more than 63,000 police officers to ensure a safe and orderly presidential election. Now, these officers will be stationed at counting centers and polling booths across the country. Now, in addition to Sri Lanka police, the army will also be deployed to key economic centers to prevent any disruptions and maintain order. Now, 10,000 personnel from the civil security force will also assist Sri Lanka police in their election duties. At the same time, the police special task force will also engage in mobile patrols to maintain security throughout the election period. Now, Minister of Public Security Tiran Alas has said that the police will use maximum force against anyone exhibiting violent behavior at polling booths on election day. Now, Sri Lanka's Election Commission is set to meet with various election observation teams to discuss matters pertaining to the upcoming presidential election. Now, Chairman of the Election Commission RML Ratmaika told Newsfirst that international observation groups, including a delegation from the Commonwealth, will be a part of this discussion. Now, in addition, observers from several Asian countries are set to arrive in Sri Lanka tomorrow to observe the polling process. Now, the chairman of the Election Commission said that a total of 10 teams will be in Sri Lanka for election monitoring activities. Now, at the same time, the campaign trail has been filled with various statements being made by all the candidates, at times against each other and at times against matters that concern the general population. Now, election monitoring organizations have raised alarms about an organized group spreading hate speech and derogatory content about presidential candidates across digital platforms. Now, this troubling trend includes offensive statements and images aimed at influencing public opinion. Now, Manjula Gajanayaka from the Center for Monitoring Election Violence has called for an end to these activities. Now, he has requested everyone to promote respectful and constructive dialogue during the election period. Now, let's shift our attention to the campaign trail. Independent presidential candidate and President Ranil Wickremesinghe has emphasized that in this year's presidential election, the people must choose between building a nation with a prosperous and stable economy or returning to an era of shortages and queues. Now, he made these remarks at a Ranil Tepuluang or Ranil Can election campaign rally in Badulla last afternoon. Now, Wickremesinghe has urged the public not to allow the country to fall back into an era of queues and hardship. He has called for a mandate to continue the economic stabilization efforts initiated over the past 2 years. Now, Ranil Wickremesinghe has said that while others, including rival candidates Sajit Premadasa and Anurukumara Dissanayake, remained indifferent to the suffering of the people, he prioritized their needs and worked tirelessly to improve the situation of the people of Sri Lanka. Now, Anurukumara Dissanayake is the presidential candidate of the Jatika Janabalawegya or the National People's Power. Now, he has voiced concerns over the reactions of opposition political groups ahead of the presidential election, which he claims that he has already won. Now, speaking to supporters, Dissanayake claimed that the opposition is distressed and is resorting to various conspiracies to undermine his party's success. Now, Anurukumara Dissanayake has emphasized that the general populace has historically rejected racism and religious extremism and criticized opposition figures for their alleged hypocrisy. Now, he pointed out that some monks associated with Sajit Premadasa's campaign trail have made controversial statements, including calls to do away with the national flag and remove the 9th article of the Constitution. Now, he also accused Ranil Wickremesinghe of contributing to the country's economic instability, citing significant borrowing during Wickremesinghe's tenure. Now, Anil Kumar Dissanayake has assured his supporters that the National People's Power is committed to rebuilding the economy and urged the current leadership to step aside. Now, on the campaign trail, various views are being expressed against various presidential candidates, and sometimes we have also seen during this campaign trail allegiances also shift from one side to another. The former Member of Parliament Thalata Attukorola has expressed her concern regarding the current state of political alliances in the country. Attukorola highlighted the confusion surrounding political figures, questioning whether it is Ranil Rajapaksa or Sajith Rajapaksa leading the charge. She referred to recent media reports suggesting an alliance between Sajith Premadasa and Namal Rajapaksa and criticized Premadasa for allegedly abandoning his roots. Now, she emphasized that Ranil Wickremesinghe has always sought the consent of the majority of the people and warned that any mistakes in the upcoming political decisions would have lasting consequences. Speaking in Badulla, Thalata Attukorola, the former Member of Parliament, questioned the integrity of political transactions and urged the public to reject what she termed as deal politics. Now, in Sri Lanka, various political groups have also put forward their candidates as well. Now, one of those groups is ITAC, or the Ilangai Tamil Arasu Katchi. Now, in recent weeks, ITAC has been in the center of political discussions over who they would be supporting at the upcoming presidential election. Now, in a surprising turn of events, Mawe Senadiraja, the leader of ITAC, or the Ilangai Tamil Arasu Katchi, announced his support for Sajith Premadasa of the Samagi Jana Balavegya in the upcoming presidential election. Now, this declaration was made earlier yesterday. However, just hours after this announcement, Senadiraja also attended a public meeting in Kilonachchi that was organized to muster support for the Tamil common candidate, P. Ariyanethan. Now, yesterday, the ITAC's 6-member committee tasked with evaluating the election manifestos of candidates met in Vavunia. Now, the meeting was chaired by Mawe Senadiraja and attended by notable members including parliamentarians S. Sridharan, President's Council M.A. Sumandiran, Party's General Secretary P. Satyalingam, Senior Deputy Leader C.V.K. Sivayanam, and former Mayor of Batiklo Tyagaraja Saravana. Now, Mawe Senadiraja has emphasized the party's Central Committee decision to back Premadasa, urging voters to support Premadasa in the election scheduled for the 21st. He has also called for unity and understanding among the voters to address the pressing issues facing the community. Now, despite this, Mawe Senadiraja's participation in the Kilnochi meeting highlighted his continued commitment to unity and freedom as well. Now, he had stated that whatever decisions they have taken, putting their lives at risk, is for freedom. Now, moving on to some developing international news. Yesterday, the entire world was shocked when the reports surfaced that another attempt was made on the life of former US President Donald Trump, the Republican presidential candidate who is running for office against Kamala Harris. Now, Kamala Harris is the Democrats' candidate for the presidential election after incumbent President Joe Biden decided to step aside from the presidential race. Now, according to international reports, a gunman had hid for nearly 12 hours in the bushes before Donald Trump made an unscheduled decision to play a game of golf at his oceanfront club in Florida. Now, this has left locals stunned at what authorities say appears to be the second attempt to assassinate the former US president in as many months. Now, according to reports, it was a hot and cloudy Sunday afternoon when Trump and his good friend, real estate developer Steve Witkoff, arrived on the course of Trump International Golf Club in the West Palm Beach. Now, the former president was on his fifth fairway, an area adjacent to busy roads near Palm Beach International Airport, when a member of his protection detail spotted a rifle poking out of foliage by the sixth hole. Now, according to these reports, Donald Trump, who was evacuated unharmed, recounted at an event on Monday night that he heard probably 4 or 5 shots ring out in the near distance. Now, the international media reports say that a quick-thinking Secret Service agent had opened fire in the direction of the suspect, who was about 300 to 500 yards away, and he did not have a clear line of sight of Donald Trump. Now, some of these US reports are indicating what this suspect was carrying. And the suspect was equipped with 2 digital cameras, a black plastic bag of food, and a SKS-style automatic rifle, a weapon with a range of almost 400 yards, and a scope to magnify the lens. Now, it's some good news for motorsports fans. If you're a fan of F1, well, this is for you. Formula One and governing body FIA have announced that the Bahrain International Circuit will host 3 days of pre-season testing in 2025 on February 26th, 27th and 28th. Now, the track has hosted pre-season testing on 6 separate occasions since 2009, with its consistent weather conditions, mixture of high and low speeds and corners, and 2 long straights, enabling F1 teams to gather maximum data for the campaign ahead. Arriving on the calendar back in 2004, Bahrain was the first Middle Eastern venue to host an F1 race and celebrated its 20th anniversary with the 2024 edition of the event. Now, in the 20 years since the first Grand Prix, the 5.41 kilometer circuit has delivered 9 winners from 5 different teams, including Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, all claiming victory from the current grid. Now, the 24-round 2025 F1 season will mark the sport's 75th year. It's set to kick off with the Australian Grand Prix from March and conclude in Abu Dhabi in December, taking trips to 5 of the 7 continents in the world. Now, the Met Department is forecasting that spells of showers will take place in the western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces, as well as in the Kandy, Nuwara Eliya, Galle and Martha districts. Now, it also said that showers or thunder showers may occur at several places in the east as well as the Iwo province. Well, that's a wrap of this edition's Breakfast Rundown with me, Zulfick Farzan. But please follow us on our award-winning website www.newsfirst.lk for more on the very latest and more news stories as they develop during the day. Until I meet you again tomorrow morning, same time, same place, take care and God bless.